This is my AR-15 from CMMG. It has a muzzle, grip, sight, stock, and shoulder strap. Shooting it is like driving a nice sports car. It's smooth, accurate, and thrilling. But the question is, how can Madfinger Games match the same excitement and put it into a video game? Well, let's take a look at Devlog 3 from Gray Zone Warfare. Today, they give us a glimpse into the following: ammo penetration and temporary cavities, Ricochet, recoil, and weapon modifications. First on our list is ammo penetration and temporary cavities. Ammo penetration is a huge topic within the tactical gaming community. How does one accurately display it, and how is it handled within a live gaming session? Madfinger Games met with Jonathan Ferguson to discuss ammunition. Within their video, they discuss pricing, penetration, ammo types, and more. All of these thoughtful aspects have been woven into the game Gray Zone Warfare. During their development, they went through in detail the comparison between soft lead core ammunition, FMJ, to tungsten core ammunition, AP. In the example here, while your typical soft lead struggles to penetrate protected barriers, tungsten core rounds effortlessly pierce through multiple layered barriers. Madfinger Games seems to be fine-tuning their ammo capabilities. I'm excited to see how this plays out in mid-game. As a Tarkov player, I know how hard it is to have a dream about something and then make it come into reality during gameplay. Moving on, let's talk a little bit about temporary cavities. There's a science around cavities, and there's many examples of how certain ammo types affect certain materials. Here, we get a snippet into the damage from various rounds of ammunition. From 9mm to M995, the cavity size is dramatic. Madfinger Games is fine-tuning this so much that they're thinking about how a bullet's transferred energy fluctuates depending on its specifications and the composition of the obstacle. They're focused on the bullet's rotation, the deformation, tumbling, and alterations in behavior after penetrating barriers. The work that they're putting in screams dedication, but it also screams the possibility of a lot of technical issues. How is this going to affect gameplay? Remember, our goal is to build a game that works, but I believe they're going to pull this one off. Ricochet. My first gaming experience with Ricochet involved bullets and grenade metal fragments destroying my PMC in Escape from Tarkov. There have been many issues with it in Tarkov, and I can only imagine what it's going to look like in Gray Zone Warfare. In this model, the developers demonstrate their sophisticated physics model. Upon impact with a solid surface at an angle, the model accounts for both the characteristics of the projectiles and those of the obstacle. For example, shooting softwood in the game results in a wider ricochet angle versus something like hard steel. During live gameplay, I can only imagine the amount of times I'm probably going to die by ricochet. And it's not going to be anybody else's fault. More than likely, it's going to be my own fault. Kind of touching on what we talked about previously in regards to armor penetration, the team is also working on how armor penetration, cavities, and ricochet affects your PMC. Assuming armor is going to be just as big as ammo type, it's going to be wise to understand which ammo types actually pierce through armor. Certain ammo can pierce through high-rated armor, while others simply ricochet. The developers expound a bit more on the results of ammo penetration and wounds by stating, "It is essential to know that even a minor injury can lead to more significant issues, such as limited movement, worsened aim, and impaired hearing. In more severe cases, these injuries can cause blood loss, which may affect your vision or even lead to a coma, from which only other friendly PMCs can save you." This whole paragraph and comment really excites me. It goes to show that these guys are willing to put in the work to bring realism into a video game. This isn't going to be your typical Call of Duty arcade shooter. It's going to involve wise thinking. You're not going to just run out in an empty field as though nothing's going to happen to you. You're actually going to think through your next steps on each zone that you're in. For example, in Escape from Tarkov, I don't just blindly run. I have a plan and action for each step that I take. I try to have something in front of me as I'm running a straight line. That way I know that cover's ahead of me. There's always a line of sight of protection somewhere. Moving on to Recoil. Recoil has always been a huge debate in the gaming community. Many state that recoil is displayed in a dramatic way, or there isn't enough recoil. I think the positive thing about Gray Zone Warfare is the developers are really focused on hyper-realism, and if you've ever shot an AR, the kick really isn't that bad. But then again, it does depend on your ammo type. Furthermore, recoil control is complex, and it's influenced by many things. For example, muzzle velocity, the weight of your firearm, the ammunition, etc. In Gray Zone Warfare, with each shot fired, your weapon's weight decreases, thus changing how the recoil feels. For instance, there can be up to a 10% difference in recoil control with an AR-15, depending on whether you're shooting with a full magazine or the last bullet. Within my notes here, it looks like Madfinger Games is encouraging us to practice our recoil control. Does this mean that there's going to be a little hideout where we can actually practice our aim? I really hope that they put something in like that. Furthermore, I wonder if there's going to be some type of leveling system for aim. But then again, that might introduce some type of cheating aspect. We'll have to see. Moving on to weapon modification, here we get a snippet into some of the weapons. In these photos, each weapon will provide you with its own stats. These stats vary from accuracy, recoil control, arm stamina, reload time, and more. This means that your recoil and stability will be affected by running, jumping, prolonged aiming, etc. And the details here are insane. I can't wait to get in there and make my own type of M4 MP5. I'm ready to dive on in. Alright, let's dive into my final thoughts. I think progress is coming fast with this game. With my experience of working with the devs and some of the people on staff, I really believe that these guys are sincere about bringing us a real good tactical shooter. Being the fact that we gamers have gotten burned over and over and over again with so many different games kind of leads me to be a little bit scared and nervous about the results of this game. I think this game has big ambitions, and I hope and pray that they're able to create a game we've all been waiting for. But we will have to wait and see. My name is Shadeless, and yes, I am a beautiful black man. See you on the next one. God bless.